Hello everyone and welcome to some Mechabellum gameplay, and in this one I've got a pretty awesome match that kind of went a lot longer than most of my matches tend to go. We start off here with a bit of heavy armor specialist, which gives all of our units an extra 17% of HP, and we start off with some crawlers and some sledgehammers, two of my favourite units in the game. Now my opponent here did take some time before he eventually chooses giant specialist and comes to the battle with some fangs and some sledgehammers. Alrighty, so here we go then. We start the battle off. I don't actually believe, from memory, this is a few days ago that I actually played this match. I don't believe I actually invested into anything off the bat. I think I just took what it was. So we're going to speed this up because I do recall that he took a long time on this first round to actually decide what he was going to do. That's a lie. So we do end up buying another unit of crawlers. Fully aware that in these early rounds you don't tend to, you're not really worried about winning as such, you're just looking to sort of set yourselves up for the later rounds where you can deal the bigger amounts of damage. Now obviously being aware that he is giant specialist, so there is a good chance that he is going to be bringing out some giant units reasonably quickly as he deploys a couple of arc lights to help deal with my crawlers. Now veterans of the game will already notice a big problem with my lineup here, and this is something that I've been a bit shit on recently and I'm desperately trying to improve. Let me just slow this down. Is that obviously where all the units have different speeds, my crawlers in this particular instance get to the fight way before I want them to. Really bad placement on my part. You don't want those little squishy units like the crawlers getting to the fight so early. You need them to really almost come in as a second wave, because the sledgehammers can tank a little bit of damage for you. In this case, obviously they're tanking a lot because they're trying to fight on their own. And then you want the crawlers coming in when all of these other units are distracted, so that the crawlers can come in and just basically swarm the enemy from that point forward. So we take the L in the first round, no real biggie, but we are going to have to do a little bit of consolidation to try and kind of deal with the fact that I screwed up that early placement in the formation. What we did also do in round one, though, is we decided to unlock some rhinos, and we went with the deployment module, as our opponent here takes a missile strike. And we placed a couple of rhinos down, immediately realising that we do have a little bit of problem, but now we kind of compound it because the rhinos are going to get to the fight even earlier than the sledgehammers and going to kind of be on their own. So my plan here was, rightly or wrongly, was that I want the rhinos to get in there, try and hold the fort a little bit, and hopefully the crawlers can come in just after and sweep up. Now, as predicted, he has gone Vulcan real early. This is probably one of the earliest I've ever seen someone go giant, but he's gone straight in on the Vulcan, and he will make a severe mess, as that missile also makes a mess of those units. I retaliate with one over there, but that Vulcan is going to make light work of all of my crawler units, although at least some of the crawlers now are beginning to just get to the front lines in some sensible numbers, but it's still not going to be enough to avoid the L, despite the fact that we are at least going to take the tower over this side and slow them down a little bit. Let's just speed this one along and get to the end. There we go. And the sledgehammers will get taken down, and we take the loss on the second round. So we go into the third round. So this time I believe I choose orbital bombardment. My opponent chooses to skip on this occasion, but we will take the orbital bombardment to rain down some missiles from above. He's going to go straight into another Vulcan. He's also going to unlock some marksmen for some long range stuff. We are going to put another rhino down, and now we're going to enter into the world of steel balls as well, which is actually, in the end, quite a defining moment in this game, because the steel balls are, in my opinion, quite an underrated unit. Now, obviously, this game is all about countering and then countering and all that kind of stuff, and trying to work out what your opponent is going to do. But what I hadn't realised is just how effective these steel balls are against the Vulcan. They're like almost like little mini melting points from this game, and as you can see, watch the health. He just absolutely melts that Vulcan, and it really gives us a bit of a path through on that left-hand side. We also did deploy a Vulcan in a cheeky flank spot over there, which I failed to just grab on this replay, and the Vulcan will come in after he's deployed and start wiping through this side. I still don't think this is going to be enough for the win in this round, though. I think we're still going to get caught. Let's just speed this along. But you can see, since that first round, we're now into round 3, obviously, we have already made fairly significant inroads into his front lines, and we're beginning to push through and get some rewards. So into round 4 then, I will take the extra HP, and our opponent skips once again. And now we buy some more steel balls to fill out on this side, because we're getting wiped quite easily on this side over here, which is a bit frustrating. He's also unlocked some melting points. We were talking about that a moment ago. Some melting points have gone in. I'd be surprised if he doesn't retaliate in some way in this round over here. I can't remember if he does or not. But yeah, look, we put melting points straight at the front. We're thinking, right, just get in there, see if you can just go in and deal with that Vulcan off the bat. And I think, yeah, we're in a pretty good spot here. So, of course, he is going to try and counter. He probably will do, from memory. I think the orbital point is going to melt that Rhino before he really gets too close. But the orbital bombard is going to come in and hopefully do some work here. See the Vulcan there. And on this side, there you go. The steel balls are in. And look, they just melt that Vulcan. They take some damage for their troubles. And the melting point is doing some good stuff behind. But now we've cleared that Vulcan. Now our little guys can get in there. Alright, now they don't do huge amounts of stuff. They don't do huge amounts of damage, but you can see, look, once they clear a few of them down, the swarm can become overwhelming. And if there's one thing those melting points hate, it's swarms of units, especially if they don't have the upgrade, which is this one here, the energy diffraction, which allows them to use 5 beams at once at 17% of their power each. They just can't deal with swarms of units. That's just not what they're designed for. So if you can isolate them with things like crawlers, or fangs, or similar units like that, they are pretty straightforward to take down. So yes, we've moved our Rhino back this way because that melting point now is just gonna melt him literally every time he spawns and the new round begins. And now we're kind of thinking about, right, what do we do next? What's the next play here? So we upgrade our steel balls over here to a level 3. We've got some more upgrades going on here, so we've got the majority of our units now are level 2 units. He's going to drop a missile strike right on top of us over there. That's going to take out a few extra bits and pieces. As you can see, I take the elite recruitment and the rapid resupply. I borrow from the bank and I go in on some more crawlers. And where do I put them? Do I flank here? I think I do flank. I certainly flank one side and I flank the other as well. My thinking once again is that the melting points are not going to be able to deal with those crawlers, so why not throw them at them, because none of the other units are going to aggro. These fangs are going to walk forward. They're not going to aggro, as you can see. It's only the melting point. In fact, that melting point is not going to aggro at all. That one will. I think that one will once those crawlers spawn and get in. These fangs, by the time they spawn in, by the time they teleport in, those fangs are going to be forward and very much in the fight and are not going to care about those crawlers behind. Put another missile over there. We put one there as well, just to give us a little bit of extra coping mechanisms. He's not flanking at all at the moment. Upgrading more units. So here we go. Oh, that was actually, they were his missiles, not mine. There you go. So you can see the melting point has now aggroed on the crawlers as he has that side. A few of the fangs have broken away to attack, and he's also got a marksman over there which is doing some stuff as well. I think that's probably not going to work out well for us over there, but this side, these crawlers are going to take down that melting point. And at the very least, look how long they're delaying him. That melting point is having absolutely no say in this fight whatsoever, and he does eventually go down. A decent number of crawlers have got through. The right tower goes down, and by that point we should then be able to go through and mop up. We get rid of the Vulcan on that side, which is crucial in this fight. If we hadn't got rid of that Vulcan before the effects of the tower destruction had worn off, then it might have been a different fight here. Crawlers now getting in again. Look, the melting point, the marksman, and aggroed on the crawlers, which lets all the heavier units come in behind completely unopposed. And of course now as well, the tower is between them. So actually these guys are going to target the tower first, take the tower out, which weakens these guys, slows them down, and we will take the round eventually. I promise. So there we go, round 5 in the books. That's another win for us as we begin our little comeback here. Not a huge win, only a few of our sledgehammers go down. We immediately take Smoke Bomb. Smoke Bomb is really, really good in this game. He's going to go for the giant barrier, which I think he applies to this guy, I think, over here. Smoke bomb is brilliant because it just forces all of his units to come forward. Now, unfortunately, that shield is going to block most of the damage, which is kind of annoying. And I kind of suspect now that he is going to attempt to deal with our crawlers on the flanks. We go for a hacker here. Now, this was a bit of a Hail Mary, this one. I wasn't kind of sure whether this was going to work or not. I put the hackers right at the front because I thought, well, if he can just get that guy straight away, we can have a Vulcan on our hands. What I didn't take into account was just how long hackers take to hack a Vulcan. The Vulcan's HP is so big. They're such tanky units that the hacker unfortunately wasn't able to do any work. And I'd put him too far forward. He ends up being too much in the range of the Vulcan, and I don't think this really goes very well. He's also given some range to his marksman. That could be a problem. He also took elite recruitment and mass recruitment on our side. Other than the two hackers, I can't remember, did we have any money left for upgrading? I don't think we did, as we had less money because we borrowed from the bank last time out. You can see, look at the blue line there going up. It just doesn't go up quick enough, and the hacker just falls immediately. The hacker's already dead on that side. But the steel balls will get in and do their godly work. The Rhino is also in with it with their whirlwind attacks, which I upgraded a round or two ago. And yeah, look, we're just sort of getting through quickly. Looks like the arc light there over that side and on that side cleared out the flanking crawlers quite quickly. They were going to go in pretty quickly, deal with that melting point. And we've got quite a lot of units left over as they make their way through the rubble of the Vulcans. So once again, a pretty close round, this round 6. We are going to take out that melting point once the steel balls get into their stride. They're very, very strong. And once again, it's a pretty small win at this point. It's all very close. You know, this is very much in the balance at this point. You know, a few kind of decisions or wrong decisions can take this any which way you like. We go for the incendiary bomb, one of my favourites on this game, especially when dealing with enemy forces that have a lot of swarmer type units like crawlers and fangs and mustangs. These incendiary bombs will take them out very, very quickly. Eventually, I believe he goes for the same thing here, or does he take lightning storm? What do you pick? No, he does go with the incendiary bomb. We give our crawlers the underground, the subterranean blitz, which is basically them going deep underground. And when they get to within 40 meters, they will jump out, but they nullify 70% of the damage received whilst they're underground. And you'll actually see them. For those that haven't played this game before, you'll see them dip underground in a minute once the round starts. Meanwhile, we get some more steel balls. Where did we put them? I think we put them on the flanks, haven't we? Yeah, we have. Just trying to reinforce that front line just to see if we can give these hackers, or this hacker on this side, some support. The incendiary bomb is going to catch some of them. Some of his shield is going to get some of them, or is going to stop some of it, I should say. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough money. Didn't think either. I don't think, knowing me, I probably just frankly forgot that he would probably have taken the incendiary bomb as well. Of course, I won't know. I'm watching this as a replay, so I won't know at this point what he has taken, but it's a fairly logical assumption to make that he would take the incendiary bomb when I've got as many crawler units as I've currently got here. So unfortunately, depending on where he places it, some of my units are going to go down, but he does not place it. That is interesting. I thought from memory that he did. But as you can see, we take out some of his units, and all the while those units are just stood in the fire. They're taking damage, and we can move up, and our steel balls get in there, do the damage once again on the Vulcans. The Vulcans get absolutely melted and deleted, and we are straight in on that tower. That's key every time in this battle, is that because we break through that front line so quick, we get access to that tower so quickly. And once you get those towers down, if you've got enough units to kind of follow up afterwards, you can just rip through their units very, very quickly. And there you go. So a bigger win this time. Still not a humongous win. We don't have any giants here. In fact, we don't get any giants throughout the entire thing. I skipped this one. I want the extra cash that it gives us. I believe he takes laser sights on this one. He does indeed. And which unit does he give that to? So laser sights will give him 35 meter range. He's upgrading some more. He's given his marksman the double shot as well, which is quite a powerful upgrade in the right hands. Meanwhile, we have now taken the dive and got into Wasps. We take the mass recruitment and the elite recruitment to get ourselves some level 2 Wasps. We get 3 of them. We split them across the map, and we start upgrading some more of our units as well. Of course, he hasn't done incendiary bomb here at this point, so I imagine he would do it on this round. Our crawlers are still kind of sacrificial lambs over there. They're just doing nothing but slowing them down. And yeah, the Wasp strat is in full effect. I mean, they've got quite a few units of fangs, but I think I've got the Wasps far enough back that those fangs are going to be very much involved in the heat of the battle before those Wasps come along, and the Wasps shouldn't therefore be under too much fire from them. That's the theory anyway. And at this point he's still got 800 money left to spend with 10 seconds on the clock. Does he upgrade his units here? He's got 4 units that can be upgraded. And he takes the energy diffraction on the melting points. And he also gave somebody some extra range there. I think that was the fangs, it was. So some good units, as you can see. Look, there go our crawlers under the ground, tunneling down like the Great Escape movie. We've also given our steel balls the energy absorption, which increases HP by 60% and converts damage dealt back into HP for themselves. So they are very, very powerful at this point. And you can see the Wasps now swarming in. Already the right-hand tower goes down. And frankly, it's just a matter of time. We're ripping through them on this right-hand side. A little bit closer on this left-hand side. We've still got some ground units which are doing some stuff. And actually the marksmen over here are just making some inroads because of that double shot. They are able to sort of one-tap the sledgehammers in some cases. Second tower goes down. And as you can see, look, he's able to hit multiple units, but he's not actually doing huge amounts of damage to them because each one of those energy beams, if you like, can only do 17% of his overall damage. And unless the melting point is a fairly high level, when you're going up against tanky sledgehammers, they don't really do a lot. And the sledgehammers can keep that melting point occupied for quite a long time. Electromagnetic blast was an easy decision because of all the upgrades that he's given himself. He's gone for the added bonus on the Assault Vulcan, so he gets the extra 40% on the HP. Movement speed goes up by 3, but he decreases its range by 10. I take the decision to sell one of the Vulcans. I think, sorry, one of the hackers. I get one of the hackers gone, or the other hacker gone in the next one. I'm upgrading left, right and centre. Look, we've got level 4 crawlers. We've got level 3 rhinos. We are looking pretty good. Level 4. Level 6 steel ball over there. And here comes another wave of wasps. This is where effectively this battle is won, because he just cannot deal with the wasp swarm that comes in the kind of second wave of attacks. He gets the first initial wave of the steel balls, the rhinos and the crawlers. And whilst he's desperately trying to fend those off, then you just get this plague of wasps that come in late in the game. And yeah, this is pretty much game. I've got the electromagnetic blast going down in the middle. I can't remember if he shields to protect any of that. I've also got the orbital bombardment, but I think I don't use it. And he hasn't used his laser sights either. He hasn't actually attached that to any of the units. If I would have been him, I would have attached it to one of the Vulcans, or maybe the melting point, just to give it some more range. 35 meters is a fairly significant buff to one of his units, but maybe he just, I don't know, couldn't decide which one to give it to. I don't know. He's still got his incendiary bomb, which he places over to the right hand side, which, well, you know, that's going to do a fair chunk of damage to my steel balls, and it's not going to stop them from taking down that Vulcan on the right hand side. And of course the wasps now swoop in and begin to get involved. I can't remember if I gave my crawlers. Can I find one of my crawlers? Are any of my crawlers still alive at this point? I can't remember if I gave them replicate or not. I don't know if any of the crawlers are alive at this point. I mean, the battle is very much over at this point. We've absolutely decimated him. The Wasps, you can see that so many of them are still alive on that left-hand side. The left-hand side is cleared, and that side of the map was actually the side that I struggled on the most, but the Wasps I placed in the middle ended up gravitating to the left, and there we go. Big win in the end against Fist of Nature. It was a GG, it was quite close up until the end, but the Wasp swarm just came in clutch there at the very end. Thank you very much for watching this one. I have been absolutely loving this game. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video and want to see some more Mechabellum. I've got 1 or 2 more videos lined up, which I plan to send out in this particular format. If you'd like to see some more of those, do hit that like button, comment below, and subscribe for more videos, and we'll see you all in the next one.